Hello Toy Collector fans, Universal Toy Collector here and welcome to the channel. As the recording of this video, it is early morning on Saturday, October 11th, and we will be soon heading to Echo Live, where I have a few interviews lined up. Now what I will say is that everybody that I'm interviewing today, I will be leaving a link to their social media platforms and websites in the description below. But before we do all that, we've got to go to the local station and pick up a legend. That legend is BOE.
Okay then, so we have Greg and Gianni from Red 5. How are you guys? Thank you very much for doing this.
Good. Yeah, of course.
So, on the success of your first book, The Star Wars Vintage Guide to Kenner Figures, I mean, firstly on that, how surprised are you with how popular that's been?
Yeah, very surprised really. You know, I mean, we can only work on the feedback that we've been given, and it's all been positive. You know, you probably count on one hand anything that's been negative about it, but no, everything's been good. We're still managing to sell them. The secondary market's crazy, which we don't understand because we still sell them on our website. So, but yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah, it's been a great response.
Yeah.
It's been really exciting.
Just quickly, what were the biggest challenges that you had for doing Volume 1?
I think it was getting everything together.
Yeah.
The first challenge was getting our foot in the door with everyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were unknown faces. And Johnny, for example, was on social media. We weren't in all the groups. We were just a lot of Star Wars fans outside of like the collecting online hub. So getting in there was probably the first challenge. But then after that, getting the figures we needed, the variations, things like that. It was going down the rabbit hole that just never seemed to end.
Well, you've gone into the rabbit hole because you've had fantastic success with Volume 1. We've got Volume 2 coming out.
Yes.
How are we getting on with that? Well, not me, because I'm not involved in it.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. But you guys,
You're doing a great job of promoting it.
How are you getting on with Volume 2?
Yeah, we're cracking on with it. Like, we both have full-time jobs, so it's in addition to what we already do anyway. But we've got a target of trying to get to Celebration 2027.
Wow.
Which is going to be a big task, but you know, at least if we've got a deadline to try and hit, we're going to be that much further along in the project anyway. So again, it's just going to be, now we've got a lot of connections. The tricky part is just going to be able to get to places, photograph stuff. Then we might have a bit of back and forth because things will change in the book as it evolves and stuff like that. But yeah, that's sort of
it's exciting to see it coming along though.
Yeah, well, I've taken a look through some of the pages, and I've got to say it does look pretty cool. I'm not going to give anything away at the moment, but you had a big challenge in 2020 when it comes to COVID. You've not had that issue to deal with this time, so are you finding it easier this time to get stuff done with regards to getting photographs taken, meeting up with people?
It's a bit swings and roundabouts.
Because we had time to work on it during COVID.
That's a good point.
During lockdown, we had times to work on it, and you know, people were more accessible then because everyone was doing the same thing as we were. So people were more willing to like share their collection with us and stuff. But it was very easy and convenient to do that. Whereas now, where like I say, juggling it around a full-time job, you know, and everyone's busy. But so it's kind of had like, it's been ups and downs on both parts of it. So yeah, COVID was a challenge in the terms of like obviously it affected, you know, prices of things and postage. So you know that was a bit of a kick. So we had to work our way around that. But this time we haven't really got those sort of surprises waiting for us, but it is just now working around our full-time lives
and being isolated where you couldn't just go around someone's house and look at their collection or something like that. That was an issue, so we don't have that now. It's just time. Time is the biggest issue. Because we want to try and get stuff done as quickly as possible, but at the same time you've got to make sure it's correct and everything like that, because no doubt if something's wrong, someone will pick it out.
Absolutely. You say you want to try and get it launched for 2027, the Star Wars Celebration in LA.
Yes.
With that, is that when the pre-orders open up, or is it going to be like a Kickstarter where
we will do probably a pre-order on our website? But we hope to have a physical book that we will take to Celebration and sell at Celebration. That's the target. But obviously you've got to take into account the fact that you've got to print it and ship it as well to wherever.
Yeah.
That will take time. So you lose that time in terms of what you've got to produce it. But yeah, the ideal situation would be that we would have stock and go to celebration.
Yeah. And are you sort of like expecting the same kind of success with Volume 2 as you did with Volume 1, or are you not taking anything for granted?
Well, you don't like to take anything for granted, but at the same time, we have got a very good fan base now.
Yeah.
So we become established in the collecting world, if you like, which is something that one reason why we did Kickstarter in the first place, because people didn't know we were.
Yeah.
We wanted to try and add a bit of security to people. We were handing their money over to unknowns, if you like. So. It was that sort of situation, basically. But this time round, we'll just do the pre-orders from our website because we know that we've got a fan base that follow us and all that sort of thing, so we can reach out to those.
Cool. So once Volume 2's up and running and it's out in the universe, where do you go from here?
Who knows? A rest, a holiday. The whole process is very intense.
Yeah.
So once you get over that line, you just want to take a breather.
Step back.
You need to take a step back and then reassess. Do you want to do something else, or are you happy with what you've got and that sort of thing? So it's very difficult to say. I wouldn't want to make any.
Yeah, I'm not going to press you into making any decisions right now. So that would be a bit unfair. But I just want to say, like I say, Volume 1 absolutely fantastic, and I'll definitely be getting Volume 2 for sure. And like I said, I've seen some of the pictures, absolutely superb. And I just want to say, you guys have done an absolutely fantastic job, and it is the definitive Star Wars collecting book, in my opinion. So awesome job. Awesome job.
Yeah, I mean that's you go for that's something you go for, but you never really know if you're going to hit it. You know, you have a good feeling about it, but it's ultimately the people who buy it and the fans and everything that let you know whether that's the
Did
case
you have
or
that feeling when you started doing Volume 1?
I think
we could be onto a winner here.
Well, no, not really. we knew the finished product would be. We knew how it would look in our heads, what we wanted to make, but trying to translate that to people that didn't know us was probably a bit harder until we started showing them actual pictures and images of the book. Well, no, we never went in being like, this is going to be the winner. This is going to go in and change everything in the collecting world.
Yeah, I mean, those sort of things are things that surprise you, you know. If we would have been happy to produce a book that maybe just paid for itself at the end of the day. And that's, because we wanted to produce a book that we were happy with. You know, it was our book, if you like, for us. And then if everyone else liked it, then great. You know? Obviously, I've got a background in graphic design, so I sort of feel like I know how the book should look.
To present it and stuff like that.
And I've collected books all over the years, various Star Wars, but I still buy them today, So you see what works and what doesn't. That's sort of what led us down the path.
Well, no, like I say, I think I can speak for a lot of people in the community. You've done a fantastic job, and I think a lot of people are excited for Volume 2. So well done, guys.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for taking part in this. Absolutely awesome.
Thanks for
having us.
Thank you very much.
All the fans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
cheers.
blimey. Thank you. All right, cheers. Thank you. Righty-ho, so now we are with Lee from Paleetoys. Hello, Lee, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, you all right?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Would you like to talk us through your awesome display that you have here?
Oh, okay, right, where do we start?
From the beginning.
From the beginning, well, the beginning is this, in about 1980, where I always wondered why we never made a follow-up to the Paleetoy Death Star. So it's been bouncing around my head for years, and finally it's got to this, which also bookends the story, because in between, we've got other play sets too. This will be in production next year now, I can confirm that, because we've got a guy who's not works for me, he's one of my customers, who prints the boxes, and he says, I can do that no problem at all.
Okay,
so
sweet.
we start moving forwards there. We've got the cantina, which is on sale at the minute, which is an updated cantina.
Just here,
which is twice the size of the originals. Because we've got guys like the Next 17 who produce, figures that we never got. So let's get a bigger cantina for them. More screen accurate with a U-shaped bar there, 2 tables, Greedo falling over because they've been shot. Front and back as well, there's a scene at the back which I can't show you off camera, but it's there, trust me. Land of the Sand Peoples next year. This went on sale last night, which is a reverse play set, because we're going to do the hologram scene, flipped over with the Bacta tank scene from Rogue One. Because if you look behind you there, Graham at the Next 17 made the Luke for my Echo Chamber. So as a favour, I've flipped it and done him a play set. So it's a bit of a loose collaboration there. and you can see everything else that's going on.
So, with these sets, you very much capture the feel of the original Paleetoy.
That's right, yeah.
And so I'm guessing that was your intent. That's what you wanted to do. You're probably thinking, I want to carry on where Paleetoy left off.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. You know, there's always the things that we never done.
Yeah.
So I've had itches to scratch over them, 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's worked out pretty well, really. Yeah. So the scenes that we never made, I try to make them scenes. But also give homes to beta figures because not everyone can afford thousands of pound mocks, so they can't do that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What they've got here is a pristine playset to put in an IKEA Delta cabinet and put them on display.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the best thing about it, I can show you this. And there's only one in the world of this. Every box that I did has the Paleetoy logo.
Yeah.
But this one says Paleetoy.
Right.
And it's signed by Bob Reekin himself.
Oh, wow.
So I've got the master and the apprentice.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Validating it.
Yeah,
he loves that
cool.
as well, so he designed
that
the
is
original
cool.
one.
That is cool. What do you find are the other obstacles that you come across when you're doing things like this?
Time, really, because I've got the ideas, and my mate who I work with is a prop designer.
Yeah.
And he's a genius. But because we want him to be so perfect, it's that finessing it and getting it just right. That's it. So what starts out of a kind of scratch idea in my head, maybe I'll make a mould and MDF. Getting it out to people's doors is a problem, but they're getting the best quality they can get. That's it. Nothing is rushed out, so it's all done properly.
Cool. And are you pleased with the feedback? Because I mean, you do seem to be doing quite well. I mean, when you started off, did you envisage being where you are now with the amount of playsets that you've actually put out?
Never at all. No, it started out with me making that one day, taking it to the fellow I work with, and he went, "Well, what about plastic playsets?" Well, how would you do that?
Yeah.
We found some ideas, and that's what gave us. That's the first one we did. That's my son, with children on all the boxes as well. And so from there, it's now a range. We're into our 5th or 6th playset.
That's
and
insane.
It's just, we've got at least another 5 or 6 to go, I think, before we get bigger wine.
So are these 5 or 6 that you've got, are they already in the pipeline, or are they just...
You can see one here. There's the Land of the Sand People.
Yeah.
That'll be next year. Nice companion piece to the Land of the Jawas.
Yeah.
And we've got the Wampa Cave at the top here. Luke hanging upside down for once, which is pretty cool. And because we've actually gone now a bigger size box, we can make bigger size play sets.
Yeah.
So we've expanded from the first ones where they were quite a narrow box, we've just shown you there.
Yeah.
To a more wider, sturdier boxes.
Yeah, I mean, even the boxes are just such a throwback to those original boxes back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, again, I just think you've done an absolutely fantastic job. These are superb, mate.
Everything that I've made has to fit with the vintage collection. So that's all I collect. So if it fits in my collection, it'll fit in every vintage collection as well.
Would you ever be tempted to go further than the vintage collection and go into the more modern day stuff, or are you quite happy just staying within vintage?
It's the market I know best. Yeah, I only collect the vintage figures, retro figures. Yes, I do. The retros.
Yeah.
So I mean, I suppose I have done with the Vader one down there with a Mustafar scene. That's a new one, maybe a Road One kind of scene.
Yeah.
But that's because Graham made the Vader. Graham at Next 17 made that figure. So as a favour, I've returned it because he made the Luke figure for my Bacta Tank scene. So yeah, I mean it could be, but
so when I say like keep it vintage, you would keep it vintage, that vintage feel within like the prequels and possibly, dare I say, the sequels.
You've got to think of is there a market for like prequel retro figures? I mean, you only produce like 6 for episode 1, 3 for episodes 2 and 3. So
maybe
would
not.
it really work? I'm not sure it would work. And then the sequels. There's nothing so far retro-wise, is there? So I don't know. I mean, I'm asked all the time, can I make them bigger for the Black Series ones and stuff? Yeah, I can, but would my heart be in that? I'm not sure. This is a passion project.
This is something close to your heart.
Yeah,
and stuff
this is it.
And again, it's really interesting you should say that it's a passion project. That's the second time I've heard that today. That phrase being used. So no, fair play to you. I think what you've done is absolutely fantastic, and long may it continue, and wish you every success.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to say thank you for taking part. So
no problem at all.
Cheers, Lee. Thanks a lot, mate.
Man.
Nice one. Thanks a lot.
Enjoyed that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Righty ho then, so we are here with Nick from Oberon. Is it Oberon? Oberon. Sorry, Oberon Auctions.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Would you care to tell us a little bit about Oberon Auctions, when you first started and where you are now within?
Yeah, well, we well, the idea was formed probably about 2.5 years ago. Myself and the guys that work with us, the other specialists and whatever, we're all from an auctioning background, and it was me and my son that decided to set it up. He's more of an IT finance background, so he deals with all that, and I deal with all the specialist stuff. We run it's a collectibles auction now, so we have a fair few different departments. So we cover the TV and film, which I oversee. And then we have the die-cast, military, dolls and teddy bears, trains. So we cover
a wide range.
Across the spectrum. With comics, posters, autographs, trading cards, all that sort of thing.
Wow.
So we try and do the more people you can appeal to, the better the business.
So when as you cover a wide range, it's not just like Star Wars events that you go to. I guess you do go to different auctions as well around the country.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of toy fairs, doing promotions and things like that. We do the NEC, we do Sandown, we do quite a few in the north of England because that's where we're based. But we get all over the place doing. I mean, we've been to Sweden.
Oh wow!
To do promotion shows.
Okay,
And we do get onto the continent sometimes and picking up collections and things like that.
Yeah. Is that few and far between, or is that quite regular that you get to go to the continent?
Well, I mean, we've been doing this properly 18 months since we had our first auction, and we've been abroad probably half a dozen times in that period. So it's quite, we do get quite a lot of traction.
What would you say your major obstacles are when it comes to doing things like this?
Well, I mean, the most important thing for the business is us getting product through the door to be able to auction. So that's more a point of just getting the word out that this is what we're doing. Which so social media is a big part of all that. And we've got a couple of people that do all our social media stuff for us, Instagram and TikTok videos and things like that. But that's probably the most challenging is actually getting stuff through the door. But luckily, because of the background of myself and a lot of the other specialists that we work with, we have got quite an extensive contact book of people that we've dealt with previously, and a lot of it's sort of word of mouth recommendations and things like that. So, but the most not worrying, but the thing that's always in the back of your mind is we've just got to keep making sure that we provide a good service so that people trust us to sell their product.
I know very little about auctions or how they work, so how do you come up with putting a valuation on something?
Well, there's a lot of different facets to it, really. I suppose we do a lot of research. So there's a certain there's a lot of knowledge that each specialist sort of brings to the table. Within specific areas, but because we do such a varied style of sales, and with varied products, there is a lot of time goes into researching particular things. I mean, I do the TV and film, but my background, my collecting was always within sort of vintage Star Wars. But you pick up knowledge of other different toy lines, as you're going along. So, from a valuation and an estimates point of view, a lot of it is not really valid to a degree. From a vendor's point of view, all the vendors probably really bothered about is the final number of whatever particular item is being sold. What our job is to do is to try and get it to the best final number that we can. You have to have an estimate because you have to have some sort of start point, but usually an estimate is exactly that. It's a starting point. And then where it goes from there is down to the collectors or the people that are buying the stuff.
I guess it's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
Exactly. We're not a retail environment, so we're not putting stuff into the marketplace with a price. We're basically putting stuff in the marketplace So giving the opportunity for people to be able to pay what they're prepared to pay.
Okay, cool. And what would you say is the most popular thing, vintage toy-wise, to move on? What do you get the most of?
Well, Star Wars is good.
Yeah.
You know, and it always has been because it's got such a great following.
Yeah.
We've got a very successful Matchbox car department, and that's mainly down to the guys that work within that department. We've had some very good Matchbox sales. There's no specific, great product.
Yeah.
Because it's such a varied collecting sphere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's your general, Lego always sells well.
Yeah.
Action figures always sell well. Diecast is very good. Trains are a very good product.
Yeah.
But it's all down to the communities of people that collect them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bigger the community,
the more. I guess so. Yeah.
The better the product is.
Yeah.
In their eyes, I suppose.
So, you've been running for like a couple of years. How are you finding it as the business grows? Is it getting easier? Are you getting more and more clients?
Well, it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
Every time we have a sale, we sort of retain the people that were involved in that sale, and then more come on board. So every time we have a sale, we get more traction, we get more interaction with the internet, we get more people looking.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my son, he's the guy that does all the numbers.
Yeah.
So he'll come to me and say, "Oh, we've had, so many hundred people looking at this particular lot."
Yeah.
Which I usually don't know about until after the sale's been completed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he'll come every time that we do a completed sale. He'll come to me and say, "Right, well, this is the final number that the sales achieved. We're up so many % on the interactions with how many people have been bidding," and then all the statistics and what have you. He's got all these computer programs that tell us, where people were bidding, where we ship stuff all over the world. So, a certain percentage has gone to America, a certain percentage has gone to Germany.
See, that's really interesting to me because I wouldn't have known anything like that. Because like I say, I'm not that big into auctions, but it seems like it's quite deep. There's quite a bit to it. It's not just the fact of turning up, putting something on for a price, and then getting the highest bidder.
I wish it was as simple.
Well, that's how I.
From the outside looking in, it's just a case of you just see some guys on the screen. 20 quid, 30 quid, 40 quid. Bang, hammer goes down, that's it. And that's as far as people looking from the outside inwards, that's the process. But obviously there's so much more to it than that.
Wow. Well, look, I just want to say thank you very much, Nick, for taking time to do this. Awesome stuff, really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Cheers. Thank you. Okie dokie, we are now with Ian from IB3D. So Ian, nice of you to join us, thank you very much.
Yes, nice to meet you again, mate.
Yeah, what an absolutely awesome display. So if you just want to talk us through the display and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you managed to start.
Well, I've always collected figures, and it's sort of sacrilegious to say, but it was Marvel for me to start with.
Okay.
And I used to make customs. I used to paint them and sort of like modify them and that. But I started doing Star Wars, and then people were contacting me saying, "Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?"
Yeah.
I then lost my job during lockdown, and I bought myself a 3D printer, and was just playing around with it. And then more and more people saying, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" And sort of 4 years later, I'm now doing it full time. I work for myself.
That is incredible.
And we do this twice a year, and I always like to try and get a diorama out. And as you can see, this is the biggest one to date.
This is an absolutely superb diorama. We'll get to that in a second. But I mean, when you started off doing it, did you ever see yourself being where you are now when you first started?
No, like I said, it was a hobby. It was something to do during lockdown, because obviously I lost my job and you couldn't find work because everywhere was locked down.
Yeah.
So I was at home and I was painting, printing a couple of bits to go with them, and more people would message me saying, "Can you make this for me? Can you make that for me? Can you do this Star Wars, that Star Wars?" And before long, I realised Star Wars collectors are the ones that want the most stuff. So now 99% of what I do is Star Wars.
And is it all predominantly 3 3/4 inch? The world building.
It
scale?
is. It is. I'm happy to print anything that I do at 6-inch scale as well, but the market for it is nowhere near as big purely because of the space you'd need for 6-inch.
Yeah.
Like if you were to do something, I could do this at 6-inch scale, but who's got the room for that?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
the smaller stuff like the thrones and the little dioramas, I sell quite a lot of 6-inch, but 3 3/4 inch is best for the dioramas by a mile. Yeah. Especially because I work a lot with Martin from Playworld.
Okay.
And he provides all the vintage figures, and I do all the 3D prints.
Right.
So you'll obviously spot custom figures, vintage figures, a few modern in there, but we try and get as much on as we can. And
Yeah, sure. Well, did you want to talk us through this display then? Because this, I think,
the first
today,
part,
this is absolutely awesome.
The first part's obviously the Docking Bay 94 from Moss Isley.
Yeah.
So he 3D printed the backgrounds and all the barrels, crates, everything like that. We were going to use a vintage Millennium Falcon in the middle, but it looks a little small, so we went with the Legacy, because obviously it's a much larger one. And then we've got the Jabber at the front with his goons. But obviously Kenner never made every one, so there's a few of them that are custom. So these 3 here are actually custom figures, just so that we had every character in the scene. And then obviously the Moss Isley Street. This is
superb.
This is obviously all the buildings are 3D printed, all the barrels, crates 3D printed, but there's a mixture. So you've got vintage. You've got all the droids that you see dotted around. If they're not vintage, they are actually painted by members of the community.
Oh wow!
So I printed the droids, posted them out to everyone. They all painted them, and they've brought them today, and we've popped them all on the diorama. So they're painted by members of the community. This little guy here, that's actually my son.
Oh wow!
We scanned his head.
Oh wow!
And printed it in resin on a little mini stormtrooper, so he goes on every diorama we do. There's always
awesome.
The amount of people that ask, "What's that little yellow-haired stormtrooper you've got?" I was like, "That's a custom of my son."
That is so cool.
So Martin puts his vintage in, so you'll always spot the odd rarity. So you've got obviously a yak face. You'll spot the R5 is a red bar R5, which is obviously a very rare one. And then you have a vinyl Cape Jawa.
Wow.
So one of the rarer of the vintage, he's in there as well. One of my favourite pieces though is the Jawa junk shop.
That is cool.
So obviously I'll put as many little odds and sods in there as I can.
But you've got some nice Easter eggs on that with the Mandalorian helmets, the Stormtrooper helmet and stuff like that. And
I realised Beskar's probably a bit rich for Jawas, but I put them in there anyway.
I mean, you've got little things like this. You've got like the little Womp Rats. I mean, did you
the
paint
little
those?
Scurriers, they're resin printed.
Oh,
so you print them in resin and then painted brown. So there is Womp Rats dotted about. There's one on the top there.
Oh, that's the Womp Rat.
But they're resin printed because you can get much higher detail with resin. So obviously I do both types of 3D printing.
So when it comes to 3D printing, say for example something like the little Scurrier here, that's probably doesn't take too long at all. But then you've got things like your barrels. I mean, I guess this is 3D printed as well,
I'll be honest, time-wise, it 100% depends on what 3D printer you've got.
Right, okay.
Because I started out with the cheapest, and it was very slow, so it would take you about 3 hours to print something like that.
Wow.
But since then, I've upgraded all my printers to big, super fast ones, so I can bash that out in 10 minutes.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane. So what's the longest thing to take to do?
My longest print to date has been about 200 hours, and it was the Sandcrawler.
We'll get to that in a second. That is insane. But I just love this. I mean, the attention to detail that you do. I mean, because you paint everything yourself as well, don't you? I mean, look at the weathering on that.
So
that is just incredible.
That's 3D printed and painted, as is obviously all the junk.
I mean, the attention to detail is just insanely good. It really is. I mean, did you ever imagine that you would be building things to this scale?
No, like I said, it was mostly accessories to go with action figures. So I'd print this weapon or that axe. Do you know what I mean? Things like that is what I was printing. But it's just grown, and people, I want this, can you do me that? Yeah, I'll give it a go.
So the theming is Tatooine based. What was the idea behind that? Because I think last year it was the Imperials. And then, not last year, that was April, wasn't it? So April was the Imperial, then last year you had the Endor set.
Well, we always try and stick with whatever the theme is of that particular Echo Live.
Okay, right.
However, this theme was Galaxy of Creatures.
Right, okay,
I wasn't really sure what we could do diorama-wise, so I decided if we did this, inside Mos Eisley, you've got banthas, dewbacks, wombrats, scurriers.
Yeah.
You can have all the creatures in the cantina as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So
here's the
obviously
cantina.
again with the creatures. The cantina. I know Hasbro have just brought theirs out.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do my own because I can make it a little bit bigger with the side rooms.
Yeah.
We wanted to try and get every single character you see on screen.
Yeah.
Which obviously again meant 3D printing. So I got a lot of the files from there's a guy called Funky McClunky.
Right, okay,
He designs vintage style figures, but he'll try and do every character.
Right, okay.
So most of the characters you see here are 3D printed to look in that vintage style, like so they don't bend at the knee, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I've printed all of those in resin, and they're all hand painted. There's a few of the rarities, like there's a couple of blue snaggletooths in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, all the figures here are printed and painted by myself.
That is, I got to say, this just looks insanely good. Wow. And again,
we did have
detailing.
the speaker on, which was playing the music the whole time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But after 5 hours, I had to turn it off, to be honest with you. I just had to, I couldn't.
That's fair enough.
My eyes started twitching.
That's fair enough. Right, should we go and look at your sand crawler?
Yes, no problem at all.
Okay. Right, okay, so here we have the sand crawler. Did you want to talk us through this?
Yes, well, this was a customer of mine asked if I'd be able to do one, more sort of screen accurate to what the vintage sand crawler was. And I found the files for it and had a little look, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. About 200 hours of print time in total.
Okay.
But then there's probably about another sort of 80 to 100 hours on individually making sure every part was welded together, because I didn't trust super glue on its own.
Wow.
So yeah, they're welded with plastic on the inside, each part. So it's I know a lot of people wanted a HasLab for the sand crawler.
Yeah.
So I thought if I can show one off, it might sort of cheer a few people up that are a bit upset that Hasbro didn't announce it. But it's the biggest piece I've done to date. And the guy's very lucky, to be honest with you, because I want to keep it.
No. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are saying about like Hasbro doing a HasLab sand crawler. There's a lot of negativity towards that suggestion, saying, well, it's just a box, it's this, that, and the other. But I mean, you've just got to look at this to say, or to think, it's not just a box. This is highly detailed. You can fit a lot of figures in here. And you can do a great diorama scene with this. Yeah,
definitely. And like I said, you've got the ramp, obviously, goes up and down at the front.
Yeah.
You've got the side panel that comes off.
Yeah.
There's a working crane that comes out of it as well.
I mean,
there's features to it as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely superb. Absolutely superb.
Thank you. Like I said, it was a long old labour of love, that one. The only place I could paint it was the kitchen floor. So many hours sat on the kitchen floor with paints in hand.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lovely piece, and I'm probably going to end up having to do some more of them, to be honest. But once people start seeing it, I'll get messages asking.
I mean, it is a display piece for sure. I don't know where I would personally put this, but I mean, I'm sure I could find a room.
Some people are lucky enough to have a huge amount of room.
Yeah, one day. But I've got to say, this is absolutely tremendous, and a lot of people say that the fans do the best work, and I've got to agree with that. The fans do the best work because this is just outstanding. Everything that you do is outstanding. It's to a high quality. There's a lot of time, effort, passion that goes into it, and I commend that. I think that's absolutely superb, and I think these big corporate companies need to take note of that and see what the fans are doing, because I think they're all in it for the money. You do it for the passion, the love of it, and you get results like this. So I applaud you.
And money's not bad either.
Well, yeah, there is that. I mean, money's a motivator for everybody, but I mean, this.
I love coming to things like this and hearing what everyone has to say about it.
Yeah.
Like, all day long, there's not been anyone not stood at the diorama, videoing it, taking photos.
Yeah.
When it closes, all the stars are coming over to have some photos taken with it as well for us. It's great.
That must make you feel immensely proud.
Yeah.
To start off with it just being a hobby, and now it's you're making a living from doing it, and long may that continue. I mean, going forward, where do you see yourself in the next 3 or 4 years?
Well, I'd like to. We're moving house towards the end of this year,
okay.
And then after that, the plan is to actually get into a premises. So it's not in, because at the moment it's in my dining room. It's just me in my dining room. So yeah, the idea would be to get into a premises so I can start offering more.
Yeah.
So I want to work with people like Mark from Mini Mox as well.
Okay.
We're in talks. He's started doing. We've got a thing called Make Me an Action Figure on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
Where we can 3D scan people and actually convert them into an action figure form as well.
Yeah.
And the quality in the scanning is insane.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. So we can do stuff like that, and we'll be able to stock vintage, modern, 3D prints, Mark's Mini Mox stuff. We can talk to like collector displays about selling his display things. What we'd like to do is have play worlds. As a entity, so it's one big shop that does everything Star Wars basically, Play World, and then we can do events like this, and we just carry on doing it. And my big plan, to be honest, it's probably a long shot now, but I'd love to be able to go to Celebration in 2027 for the 50th anniversary. If I could somehow get a diorama over there, that'd be amazing.
That would be insane.
It's a big ask.
That would be insane.
A big ask.
But look, listen, all I can say is just keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing fantastic. You're getting a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people are interested in buying your stuff. I know only one is a big fan and stuff like that, so I know you through him. So, yeah, I've got to say, well done, mate. Well done.
I've just got to try and top it next time now.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'll be able to do that. I mean, yeah, it was awesome stuff. Well, I just want to say a huge thank you, Ian, for taking part and doing this. It does mean a lot. Thank you so much, mate. And awesome stuff. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Speak to you soon.
Yeah, we'll do.
Righty-ho then, so here we are the morning after, the day before, and I'm going to quickly go through the pickups from Echo Live, starting with this one here. It's TVC, it's VC312, it's the Mandalorian from the Mandalorian TV series, and it is the Mines of Mandalore version of that character. Now, I already have this figure on card, but what I wanted to do is get another one so I could open him up and put him in the N1 Starfighter. So let's take a quick look at the card. There's the image there of the Mandalorian in the cockpit of the N1 Starfighter. You've got the orange name peel and the orange background behind the figure. I do quite like that. It does make the figure pop. Spin it round, and here we go. Like I say, VC312, and there's the figure out of the packaging. So what I'm going to do, like I say, get him opened and stick him in the N1 Starfighter. So that was my first pickup. Let's carry on and see what else I managed to snag. Next up then we have TC14 from the Phantom Menace, but this one is on the Droid Factory card. Now, when this first came out, Martin Long from a long, long time ago kindly brought me back one from the States. So I do have one, but I'm keeping that one carded. This one is going to get opened up and put in my prequel trilogy display. So yeah, really happy about that. Decent looking image on the front, but look at that for a figure. That is pretty cool. I do like that a lot. Wow, what a great looking droid. Spin it round. There is the back of the card. Not really sort of like too much going on there. So yeah, like I say, this one's going to get opened. So the card will be going in the recycling once it's opened. So yeah, pretty happy about that. Okay, so I do have a couple more bits to show you, which I'm going to do right now. Next up then, we have Migs Mayfeld from The Mandalorian. I already have this figure twice, but this one here is the variant version. So if I just move this in a little bit closer, you can see on his arm there is no red armband. I'm very happy with this. Now, I didn't spot this. Daniel Chart is going to take credit for this. He spotted it, pointed it out and said, do you have that one? I said, no, I don't. So I nabbed it and I got it for 10 quid. Absolute bargain. So yeah, really happy with that. So this one is definitely going to be staying carded. Not going to open him. Spin it round. He's part of a TVC 2.0. This is the old style card back that you got on TVC 2.0. And he is VC 229. So yeah, really, really happy to have this variant of Migs Mayfeld in the collection. So once again, Daniel Chart, thank you very much for pointing them out. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. Right. Okay. That is item number 3. Let's carry on and see what else I've managed to pick up. Righty ho then. So up next, I managed to pick up myself some accessories. Now, I always say with accessories, they do help enhance the display. So starting with this display stand here for the twin pod cloud car. I picked this up from Ben at Action Plastics. Now, I'm looking at my twin pod cloud car at the moment and it's in landing mode. If I want to display it in flight mode on this display stand, I'm going to have to move it because there's not going to be enough height between the shelves to fit it on the display stand. So I didn't really think about that. That's a me problem, so I'm going to have to get that sorted out at some point. Also from Action Plastics, I managed to pick up 3 bags of these action figure display stands. Now, these are going to be used with my G.I. Joe classified figures. So yeah, looking forward to getting those on there and seeing how that looks. And then lastly, I've picked up this little Womp Rat from Ian Butler at IB3D. Now, yeah, I saw his display. He featured very heavily in this video. And yeah, absolutely superb. The detailing on this is brilliant. The paintwork on this is absolutely superb. And that is going to look good in my Streets of Mos Eisley display. So yeah, awesome stuff. Right, so I do have a couple more bits that I'm going to show you. They weren't pickups as such. They were gifts. So 2 seconds. So next up then we have these 3 awesome figures kindly gifted to me by the legend that is BOE. Now from left to right we have Ensign Ro from Star Trek The Next Generation. We have Lieutenant Commander Worf, again from Star Trek The Next Generation. And we have Clawful from Motu, and this is from the cartoon collection. Wow, what can I say? BOE, very kind of you, very generous. You did not have to do that. And yeah, really liking these. So for the time being, I will keep the Star Trek The Next Generation figures on their cards. I will take them off their cards at some point when I find a place to display them. The cards aren't in the greatest condition and the bubbles are coming away, but that's okay. That's okay. I can display those loose, not a problem. And then Clawful, I do have other figures from the cartoon collection. They are all currently carded, and Clawful will also stay carded as well. So yeah, once again, BOE, absolutely superb. Thank you so much, my friend. Right, what I'm going to do now then is get everything in front of the camera, give my thoughts and opinions, and see the video out. Once again, 2 seconds. Okie dokie then, so here is the Echo Live October 2025 haul in its entirety, and I've got to say once again, I am over the moon with what I'm seeing in front of me. Now I know the 3 Star Wars figures, I already have them in the collection, but like I said earlier in the video, 2 of those are going to be coming off card and added to the display. Migs Mayfeld, he will be staying carded. He is the variant version, the one with the correct uniform, and what I mean by that is he has no red armband around the top of his right arm. So once again, Daniel Chart, thank you so much for pointing that out. And at £10, it was an absolute bargain. So happy days with that. I also picked up some accessories. I picked up the Twin Pod Cloud Car flight stand. Again, like I said, I don't have space to display it where it currently is. So I have looked around and I've spotted somewhere that I can move it to. So awesome stuff. Then I picked up the action figure display stands as well. Again, from Action Plastics. Then the Womp Rat from Ian Butler at IB3D. Awesome stuff. And the Womp Rat is going to look awesome in the display with my teabagged Streets of Mos Eisley diorama. Fantastic. Not forgetting the 3 awesome gifts kindly gifted to me by the legend that is BOE. Yeah, awesome stuff. Very unexpected, but very much appreciated. Thank you. Now, what I want to do is just give out a huge thank you and shout outs to the following: Greg and Gianni from Red 5, Lee from Paleetoys, Nick from Oberon Auctions, and Ian from IB3D. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to let me chat with you guys. I found it enlightening, I found it interesting, and yeah, you guys came across really, really well. And yeah, wow, thank you so much. And again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I will be leaving links to their social media platforms and websites in the description below. So awesome stuff. And once again, a huge thank you to those guys. As always, when you go to these events, you meet up with people, and this was no exception. So I just want to say give shout outs to the following: BOE, we picked him up early doors, we took him to Echo Live, we brought him home again. Always a pleasure. Daniel Chart, I don't see you often enough, my friend, but when we do, it's always entertaining. You're good value, so great to see you. Only One Kenobi, yeah, always a pleasure, my friend. Great value, and yeah, awesome stuff. And then people like Scott Whitehouse, Des T, VTR, Martin and Adam. Now, I do see these guys a fair bit, whether it's at Sandown, Echo, or NEC. But nonetheless, I love meeting up with you guys. Absolutely fantastic. We bumped into Keith Guppy. You are looking well, my friend. And I'm glad you are well and everything's okay. So, yeah, awesome stuff. Bob Rum, again, I didn't recognise you to start with. Then I clicked on who you were because you didn't have Salacious with you. But always a pleasure to meet up with you. And again, you are looking very well. We bumped into Julian and Dave Tree from All the Cool Things. Again, always a pleasure meeting up with you. Dave World Toys was there, as you may well have spotted in the video at some point. So yeah, again, always a pleasure meeting up with you. Lord Maldalva, or Lord Malvada, should I say. Unbelievable, get my teeth in. Yeah, met you at the same event back in April. So again, it was great that you could join us for lunch. It's always a pleasure meeting up with you. Same with 5G Lee. Wow, awesome stuff. And Dario as well, also known as Biker Scout. Not forgetting Mike Halliday and his daughter Izzy. Again, I see these two at Echo Live. I saw them back in April. And so, yeah, great to see you guys. And Mike brought the rest of his family as well. And it was nice to meet them. So, and to anybody else who came up and said hello, thank you very much. Awesome. And it was nice to meet you as well. Now, on the event itself, now, I've got to say, I enjoyed it. I liked walking around. I liked seeing different bits and bobs. As you can see with what I picked up, I didn't manage to pick up any figures from the Cantina. There was a reason for that. Now, I don't mind paying a little bit of money on certain figures, but I saw a Boshek and he was carded, and I thought, oh, wow, 15 quid, bargain. I'll have him, thank you very much. But then I checked with Scott Whitehouse, and he said, no, it's £75, so I put it straight back. Unbelievable. Now, I know these figures are like in demand because of the Cantina, but 75 quid for a Boshek. Look, listen, I'm not going to pay over the odds. And if people are happy to spend that kind of money on the figures to add to their collection or their Cantina, then more power to you. I'm not going to do that. And I saw a few other figures as well that were quite highly priced when it comes to Cantina figures. Is it to be expected? Yes, it is. I understand that. But come on, guys, let's keep it real. And for the time being, I'm not going to be getting too many more figures if they're going to be at that price. I'm sure I can find them elsewhere cheaper. Now, for the event itself, like I said, I do enjoy walking around. I had a great time chatting with people, meeting up with people, awesome stuff. But I was kind of hoping that the event would have learnt lessons from last year and acted on certain feedback regards to the entrance. Now, when I got there last year, we queued up in a zigzag, and when they let us in at 10 o'clock, everybody just pulled forward, so that went out the window, and it was like a free-for-all, and it was cramped, and it all bottlenecked as soon as you got in the entrance, because you've got like a narrow walkway, and you've got stalls where people are there looking at stuff, and they're stopping to look at stuff, and you've got the front desk there as well. Again, it was just an absolute nightmare trying to get in and out of the event. So when I saw that they had the line policed very nicely this time, one long line that led outside the shopping centre, I thought, oh, marvellous stuff. Yeah, that was very short-lived. Got to the front entrance to the event, walked in, and again, you've got that narrow little corridor where you've got the aisle with stalls either side, people congregating around the front desk. It just bottlenecked, and again, it was very crowded, it was cramped, people were squeezing past each other, you couldn't move. Then people would come down with pushchairs or wheelchairs and stuff like that, and it was just an absolute nightmare. So, like I said, I thought lessons would have been learnt. They weren't from last time, so I don't know what else to say. What I will say is, from a health and safety point of view, if there was an emergency and people needed to get out of there pretty quick, you've got no hope. It's just going to be an absolute nightmare. There is not enough room. What also annoyed me was the fact that they have the raffle right in the entrance. Again, a large congregation of people right at the entrance stroke exit. People trying to get in, people trying to get out, and you've got to fight your way through a crowd of people. Yeah, I don't want to poo-poo the whole event because I enjoyed the day, but that really did sort of like irk me, because I thought, well, like I said, they've not learned anything from last year. So, not last year, last April, but there you go. So, I don't want to say too much else on that. I've given my thoughts and opinions. Overall, it was a great day. It was just that little incident and that little area of the exit stroke entrance that they could improve on for next time. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they will act for next time. We shall wait and see. But like I said, overall, a fantastic day. I just want to give another big thank you to Georgie as well. She filmed the interviews. I thought you'd done a great job. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I don't ever want to take you for granted. But yeah, awesome stuff. And so thank you very much, Georgie. Anyhow, that is it for this video. So if you are new to the channel, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to let you know of more content. And as always, there will be more content. Appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate your support, your generosity and your friendships. I keep saying it and I'll keep on saying it. It means a hell of a lot to me. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Sometimes I do get very overwhelmed with things, with the support and the generosity and the friendships that I've made. It means a lot. Thank you. Take care, stay safe, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.